There's new rumors about the PlayStation 5 Pro almost every week, and the industry just doesn't stop. Although Sony hasn't made any official confirmation about the upgraded PlayStation 5 console, trustworthy insiders continue to insist that it's coming. One source even goes as far as saying it's 100% in development. That's the news that we covered before, and now we know for certain that Sony has confirmed it's real and it's coming. Between the PlayStation 5 and its successor, which we'll refer to it as the PlayStation 5 Pro, it would serve as a mid-generation refresh. The thought process as of now is that the PlayStation 5 Pro will take after the PlayStation 4 Pro. This was essentially a more potent version of the PlayStation 4 console. It included the same DualShock 4 controller in the same game selection, but with improved performance and some of the titles aiming for 4K resolution. This was a system created for players who desired more power to fully experience PlayStation gaming. Presumably, the PlayStation 5 Pro would follow suit, building on the foundations of the base PlayStation 5, while updating some of the internal components and perhaps a minor cosmetic redesign. But keep in mind that this is not the next major PlayStation console. Rather, it's merely an improved version of the PlayStation 5. As the PlayStation 5 Pro hasn't officially been unveiled yet, now I'd like to cover everything we know so far about this new console. Before we get started, guys, if you could drop a like on this video, subscribe with your notifications turned on so you never miss an upload. And also don't forget, we're giving away a PS5 at 80,000 subscribers. All that information will be in the pinned comment of this video. And now let's break it down. So I'm actually going to read a lot of this information from tomsguide.com. They did a very good article breaking down everything that you need to know about the PlayStation 5 Pro. So a huge shout out to them. So first, let's break down the PlayStation 5's rumored release date as well as the pricing. The PlayStation 5 Pro has been tipped to launch in the second half of 2024. This would place it 4 years after the launch of the PlayStation 5. This would be a little longer than the 3-year gap between the debut of the PlayStation 4 in November of 2013 and the PlayStation 4 Pro in November of 2016. Most recently, a leak of information pointed towards a September 2024 release window. That was as confirmed by Jeff Grubb on his podcast. Another prediction comes from Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming, who has repeatedly suggested that the PlayStation 5 Pro will launch in November of 2024. It's also significant to note that Tom Henderson has previously leaked the existence of the PlayStation 5 Slim, as well as the PlayStation Portal that happened last year. Furthermore, additional sources suggest that a 2024 release date is adding even more credibility. Last year, a leaker claimed that the PlayStation 5 Pro as well as the Nintendo Switch 2 would share a similar launch window. Since then, several sources have indicated that Nintendo has delayed their next hardware into early 2025, but there's been nothing to suggest that Sony is planning the same. All signs point to the PlayStation 5 Pro still launching in late 2024. When it comes to the price, there's precious little out there that gives us any indication of how much we need to save up ahead of time. At its release in 2016, the PlayStation 4 Pro costed $399, and this was the same price of the base PlayStation 4 that had launched 3 years earlier. If the PlayStation 5 Pro was to follow the trend of the last generation, it would launch for $499. However, don't be surprised if the PlayStation 5 Pro is pitched at even higher cost, maybe even $599. Sony proved this with the PSVR 2 with a launch price set at $549. Sony definitely showed that it's not afraid to charge a premium price for new hardware, so I wouldn't be shocked at all if the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro comes in at $599. Now let's pivot to some of the specs that have been leaked for the PlayStation 5 Pro. When it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro specs, two words keep cropping up, and that's 8K resolution with ray tracing. We would expect to see these two areas that Sony attempts to target with any new revised PlayStation 5 hardware. There's also talk of a new form of NVIDIA DLSS, which Digital Foundry is calling it PSSR. This tech has the potential to boost frame rates big time thanks to the machine learning techniques. Our latest hint of the PlayStation 5 Pro specs come from a YouTuber known as Moore's Law, while Insider Gaming and IGN are both confirming that these specs could be real. The PlayStation 5 Pro could boast 67 teraflops of computing power, equating to a mere 33.5 teraflops on its floating point, which is in the real-world gameplay terms. And to put that into perspective, the PlayStation 5 is just using 10.28 teraflops. So in plain English, that would be a massive technical leap and would allow the PlayStation 5 Pro to compete even with top-level gaming PCs. These rumored specs would be worthy to the PlayStation 5 Pro name. Insider Gaming has expanded on Moore's original story by providing further PlayStation 5 Pro details. The source suggests that the Pro will get a big boost of system memory as well as performance, leaping the 448 gigabytes of memory on the base PS5 up to a total of 576 gigabytes of memory. The same report claims that the design of the PlayStation 5 Pro CPU will be identical to the OG PlayStation 5, but the new PlayStation console will have a high CPU frequency mode that ramps up the CPU's clock time time to 3.5 gigahertz. This would give the Pro's processor a 10% clock boost over the standard PlayStation 5. Other rumored specs that come by the way of insider gaming include audio improvements, as much as a 35% uptick on the console's audio compression manager, a 45% faster rendering speed, and a huge boost of ray tracing performance. While this all sounds exciting, be sure to note that we still don't have the PlayStation 5 Pro in our hands to even be able to test if this console can actually provide that much. Tom Henderson also suggests that the PlayStation 5 Pro will have a strong focus on ray tracing, and that the legendary PlayStation console architect Mark Kearney is involved in the creation of this hardware. The article goes on by saying that, adding in our own speculation, there's a big push for player choice in this console generation, with many PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X games offering either performance or quality mode. The former typically targets a higher frame rate while offering a better resolution. We'd love to see the PlayStation 5 Pro build even further on this element of player choice. We don't expect a Pro console that would be capable of running the best PlayStation 5 games in 8K 120 FPS, as well with full ray tracing enabled, but instead players may be able to individually choose which elements are most important to them, which I honestly think that is the future of gaming. Definitely let the player decide. Finally, talking about some of the PlayStation 5 Pro possible features, we think that it's highly unlikely that the PlayStation 5 Pro will offer any exclusive features. As discussed above, it will most likely boast a more powerful internal components, but we don't expect the upgrades to extend any further into exclusive features or games. The PlayStation 5 Pro is pretty much guaranteed to play all the same games as the current PlayStation 5. The DualSense controller is most certainly the primary way you'll interact with the console. There is perhaps a possibility that the PlayStation 5 Pro will come packing the high-end DualSense Edge controller. We wouldn't bet on it because most likely Sony wants to sell that accessory separate. It's also theorized that the PlayStation 5 Pro will work in harmony with the recently released PSVR 2 headset. This would make sense as virtual reality is clearly an area of great interest for Sony, and we expect the latest VR device will be supported for many years to come. And what better way to incorporate that in the newest PlayStation 5 Pro? There's a reasonable chance that the PSVR 2 will also be able to take advantage of the increased power of the PlayStation 5 Pro, with the improved performance levels and sharper visuals. This is something for sure I believe that we'll see with the upgraded console. This article also had some bullet points of the key takeaways with the updated news when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. So it starts off by saying that fresh reporting points that the PlayStation 5 Pro is boasting a colossal 227% GPU teraflops upgrade, which could lead to games running almost 50% faster on Sony's new rumored console compared to the original system that launched in late 2020. Insider Gaming says that Sony is prepping a PS5 Pro Enhanced label like the PS4 Pro to show which games can take advantage of the superior hardware. Insider Gaming has expanded on the below PS5 Pro specs leak with even more details and indicated that developers now have access to the console hardware kits. A significant PS5 Pro spec leak has surfaced courtesy of YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead and hints to an even more powerful console that could compete with the best gaming PCs. PS5 Pro leaks reveal September 2024 is the launch date. The PlayStation 5 Pro could be getting an AI boost thanks to the Neural Processing Unit, or the NPU, from AMD according to this new spec leak. And a reliable leaker known as Tom Henderson said that the PlayStation 5 Pro will release in November of 2024, complete with the upgraded GPU and RAM to make it an 8K gaming console. So just an absolute insane amount of detail and leaks when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's gonna wrap it up with today's video, guys. Let me know in the comment section, will you be getting the PlayStation 5 Pro in holiday season 2024? Did you get your hands on the original PlayStation 5 yet? What games are you most excited to play on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This has been Zach with VGL. I'll catch you in the next one.